They say power is earned, not given. But in the case of America, power was not only earned, it was taken, built, and protected by every means necessary. You see, the rise of the United States to global dominance is not just a story of freedom and democracy. It's a story of wars, strategies, exploitation, timing, and ambition. And yes, it's also a story of questions we rarely ask: can this empire fall? The truth is, America was not always powerful. In fact, for most of the 18th and early 19th centuries, it was just a newly formed colony struggling to define itself. But what changed? The answer lies in key historical moments, and the willingness to play the global game better than anyone else. After gaining independence from Britain in 1776, America focused inward. It expanded west, often violently, taking land from Native Americans and pushing the frontier toward the Pacific. This expansion wasn't peaceful. It was ruthless. But it laid the foundation for what would soon become an economic powerhouse. More land meant more resources, more agriculture, and more control. Then came the Civil War. It nearly tore the nation apart, but once the smoke cleared, something happened: the country industrialized. Railroads stretched across the continent, steel and coal powered the cities, and factories began producing at scales never seen before. In less than 50 years, America transformed from a rural farming society into an industrial beast. But industrial strength alone doesn't make a nation powerful. What truly launched America onto the world stage were the two world wars. In World War I, America entered late, but it entered strong. Its fresh troops and economic power helped tip the balance in favor of the Allies. But it was after World War II that the transformation was complete. While Europe and much of Asia lay in ruins, America stood tall, untouched, undefeated, and now holding more than 60% of the world's gold reserves. It wasn't just military power. It was economic dominance. The US dollar became the world's reserve currency. Institutions like the World Bank and IMF were created under American influence. And just like that, America wasn't just a country. It was the system. But there's another side to this story. A darker side. While America was building influence abroad, it was also using covert operations, political manipulation, and sometimes even war to shape the world in its favor. In Iran, in Chile, in Vietnam, in Iraq, the fingerprints of American intervention are all over the map. So how did this help maintain power? Simple. Chaos elsewhere meant control for America. Instability in oil-rich regions, proxy wars against the Soviet Union, and military bases across 70-plus countries made sure the American hand was always on the global pulse. Then came the digital age. Silicon Valley, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, all born in America. The country didn't just lead in weapons and money. It began to control information, culture, entertainment. The American dream was no longer just a concept, it was exported through Hollywood, Netflix, and social media. But here's the question: if America rose so fast, can it also fall? History says yes. Every great empire before it has fallen. The Romans, the Ottomans, the British. All collapsed under their own weight. Overexpansion, internal division, corruption, and arrogance. And today, signs of stress are visible. Political polarization is at an all-time high. Trust in institutions is weakening. Economic inequality is growing. The dollar faces threats from digital currencies and rival nations forming alliances outside of U.S. influence. China rises silently, investing in Africa, building global infrastructure, and challenging U.S. influence in Asia. Russia wages cyber wars. The world grows multipolar. So is the American empire collapsing? Not yet. But it is shifting. You see, collapse isn't always sudden. Sometimes, it's slow. Empires fade, not explode. Their influence wanes piece by piece. One trade deal here. One military withdrawal there. One lost generation disillusioned by the promises they were fed. America still has power. A powerful military. A dominant currency. A cultural grip that remains strong. But the world is watching. Waiting. And history is clear, when an empire forgets why it rose, it begins to fall. The question is not just what made America powerful. The real question is, will it remember? Because power without purpose doesn't last. And history never forgets.